What is text shadow property? Well, text shadow property represents CSS property that we can use to set shadow of the text. Text shadow property can take up to 4 values, where first value represents horizontal distance between text and its shadow. Second value represents vertical distance between text and its shadow. Third value represents how blur will be our shadow. And fourth and last value represents color of the shadow. Okay, let's see some examples for this. Okay, for this part, I have already prepared simple HTML document structure. Our HTML document has head and body, and inside of body we have just simple text paragraph, and inside of head we have just title for this HTML document. I saved this document like index.html on the desktop, so let's minimize our text editor. And this is our index web page, so let's open it. This is how our web page looks like for now. Okay, let's go back in our text editor. So first thing that I want to do for our text paragraph, let's define class HTML attribute. And like attribute value, let's set shadow. Okay. Inside of head, now let's define style block, where we're going to define all CSS styles for this HTML document. Okay. So first I want to select our text paragraph that has shadow class. So as we know, class selectors always starts with a dot. Then let's set name of the class or shadow. Okay, let's define declaration block. And inside of it, let's define text dash shadow CSS property. And let's set next values. First, let's set 2 pixels for horizontal distance between text and shadow, then 2 pixels for vertical distance between text and its shadow. Like third value, we need to set how blur will be, so let's set 3 pixels, and the last value will be color, so let's set orange. Let's save these changes. Let's go back in our web browser and let's refresh it. So as you can see, now our text has text shadow. Okay, let's analyze our web page. So let's click on the right click, let's select inspect. Now on the right hand side, you can see structure of our HTML document. So let's expand head, let's expand body. Let's click on our text paragraph here. So down here you can see we have our shadow class selector with text shadow CSS property and its values. Okay, we click on values here. You can change any of those values. So, for example, we can start with the first one. As we said, this is horizontal distance between text and its shadow. So if we use arrows up to increase, you can see how shadow will be moved. Or we can use arrow down to decrease this value. Okay, let's do the same for our second value. As we said, this is vertical distance. So basically, if we use arrow up to increase this value, you can see how this shadow will be moved from text. Okay, third value represents how blur will be. Our shadow can go from 0, which means that shadow will not be blur at all. And once when we start increasing this value, our shadow will be more blur. And the last value represents color. And instead of this predefined CSS color, we can use hexadecimal value colors, for example, something like this. Okay, we can use RGB value colors, something like this, for example. Okay, and we can use ADCL value colors as well, something like this, for example. 100% and 50% for lightness. Okay, please be aware of that for text shadow CSS property, you need to set at least first two values. So basically, we can remove third and the fourth value from here. Okay, as you can see, we still have our text shadow. So we have our horizontal and vertical distance. So still, first value will do the same work as previous, second as well. And for our third value, we will have 0 pixels by default. So shadow blurriness will be 0 and the color of shadow will be black by default. Okay, so this is how we can use text shadow CSS property to set shadow for our text, so feel free to play around with this. Thanks for watching this tutorial, and I hope this was helpful to you. If you like our work, please become our Patreon or simply donate or PayPal. Please remember, even a little from you means a lot for us. You can follow us on our Twitter and Instagram profiles, and please don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel, because on our YouTube channel, knowledge is waiting for you.